Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Today in part 4.7 of Mastering Parallel Programming series, we are going to learn how to manage task scheduling and ensure safe UI updates in WPF applications. These concepts are crucial for developing responsive and user-friendly applications. So before we get started, just a quick reminder to subscribe my channel, hit the red button and don't forget to click on the little bell icon. That way you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, without any further delay, let's get started. Parallel programming using PFX, that is Parallel Framework Extension Libraries in C#. If you have watched my previous videos, you probably remember this diagram. Well, today we'll go ahead one more step further and learn how to manage task scheduling and ensure safe UI updates in WPF applications. Task scheduling and safe UI updates. What is task scheduler? A task scheduler is like a manager that decides which tasks should be handled by which threads in a program. Think of threads as workers that execute tasks. Every task needs a scheduler, which is represented by an abstract class called task scheduler. In the .NET framework, there are two main types of task scheduler. What are those? Number one, default scheduler. Number two, synchronization context scheduler. Default scheduler, it is going to work with the CLR, that is the Common Language Runtime Thread Pool, which is a collection of threads managed by the system. Synchronization context scheduler is specifically useful for application with graphical user interfaces like WPF, Windows Presentation Foundation and Windows Forms. These applications require the UI element like buttons, labels, etc. are accessed only by the thread that created them. Okay, so let's discuss the scenario to understand it better. Let's suppose we have a WPF application where we want to perform two activities. What are those activities? Number one, fetch data from a web service in the background. That is the first activity that we are saying as an antecedent task. And the second activity is update a label, say LBL result on the UI with this fetch data. That's basically we are going to perform as a continuation task. That's what I have written. The first one antecedent task and the second one is the continuation task. Since UI elements need to be accessed by the thread that created them. So here we need to use the synchronization context scheduler to ensure the continuation task runs on the correct thread. Okay, so let's switch to the Visual Studio and see all these things in action. Okay, so here we are on Visual Studio. Here we are going to see the demo of task scheduling and safe UI update. Specifically, this examples I am going to show you how to perform background tasks and update the UI safely in a WPF application using Task Scheduler. So for this, what I have done, I have created one WPF application named Task Scheduler UI WPF demo that has main window.yaml and its corresponding YAML class. Okay, so here in main window.yaml file, we have the YAML code that defines the user interface in a WPF, that is Windows Presentation Foundation application. Here, if you notice, inside the grid, we have the stack panel that contains two child elements. What are those child elements? Label control and the button control. And then in a stack panel, we have set the two attributes. What are those attributes? Horizontal alignment is equal to center and vertical alignment is equal to center. What does it mean? Horizontal alignment is equal to center means this property sets the horizontal alignment of the stack panel's content to the center of its parent container. Similarly, vertical alignment is equal to center, basically setting the vertical alignment of the stack panel's content to the center of its parent container. Now let's focus on the label control. First of all, I gave name to it. What name I have given? LBL result. Then what I have done? I have set the initial content. What content I set? Page data would be displayed here, triple dot. Then I have mentioned what would be the font size, what is the margin, what would be the font weight. Those things I have mentioned over here related to the label control. Then we have the button control. Inside that again, I have given value to it of this content. What value I have given? Fetch data. And then we have the click event. So this click event will be handled by this event handler, fetch data underscore click. Then I have set width is equal to 100 and height is equal to 30. So that's how I have designed this main window.yaml code in order to represent the UI interface in the WPF. Right now, let's switch to the main window.yaml.cs file. So here, first of all, necessary namespaces are added. That's what I have written using system.collection.generic and all these, namespaces over. Then there is a namespace named task scheduler UI WPF demo that has partial class that inherits from window. That's what I have written public partial class main window colon window. So this class represents the main window of the WPF application. Inside this class, what I have written task scheduler underscore UI task scheduler. So here I declared a field to store the task scheduler that will be associated with the UI thread. And this scheduler ensures that task affecting the UI run on the correct thread itself. Then we have the constructor. That's what I have written, public main window. Inside this constructor, I have called this method initialize component. So this method initializes the component defined in the XAML file for the window, and this sets up the UI element. Then what I have done, I have written this statement: UI task scheduler is equal to task scheduler dot from current synchronization context. Why I have written? Because I want to get the task scheduler for the UI thread and ensuring that task can be executed on the UI thread safely. That's what I have written this statement, getting the scheduler for the UI thread. Then we have event handler, fetch data underscore click object center routed event args E for the click event of a button control, right? So whenever the button is clicked, this methods what it does, it starts a new task with the help of task.factory.start new method, which calls fetch data from web services method. And once the data is fetched, what we are doing, we are updating the UI label using the UI scheduler. That's what I have written this statement. Dot continue with fetch task goes to lbl result dot content equal to fetch task dot result, comma, here I have mentioned the UI task scheduler. Here this update happens on the UI thread to ensure thread safety. Next we have fetch data from web services method. So this method simulates fetching data from a web services. It's invoked by the background task, right? That's what we have called over here, right? We have called here, so this method is going to get invoked. Here inside that, I'm introducing a delay of 3000 millisecond, that is the 3 seconds, to simulate some network operation. Then finally what I'm doing, I'm returning the string message as the fetch data. What I'm returning? Fetch data from the web services, learn enjoy, channel is awesome. That's string I'm returning as a part of this web services method. This task result is going to get stored, and that's what we are accessing with the help of fetch.task.result over here and assigning to the label content, right? That's what it is going to get printed, this statement, into this label control. So that's how this WPF application is constructed. Let me execute the program and show the output to you. Now if you see, the main window got appeared in this screen, right? Here if you see, this label initial content data got populated, right? Fetch data would be displayed here. And here this is a button control. When I'm going to click this fetch data button control, what it will do, it will call this web services, get the data, and then it is just going to update this label content. That's how we are going to observe this. Let me go and click this fetch data button. I click this. So now if you see, this statement got printed: fetch data from web services, learn enjoy triple dot channel is awesome. So that's how this work got accomplished. What work we are talking about over here? So here we are talking two things. First, we are fetching the data from a web service in the background, and then we are updating a label, which is the label result on the UI with this fetch data, and that's how this statement is displayed over here as a part of updated label content, right? Okay, so that brings me to end of my session today. To sum up, we have explored how to manage task scheduling and ensure safe UI updates in WPF applications. So these concepts are crucial for developing responsive and user-friendly applications. That's all for this video, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, share it with your friends and colleagues, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. Thanks for watching. See you next video.